You hand your suitcase to the airline agent at the check-in counter. They attach a tag, place it on a conveyor belt, and it disappears behind a wall. And then you wonder, where is it going? What happens between that moment and when you see it again on the baggage carousel at your destination? Most people assume it's loaded directly onto the plane, but that's not how it works. Your bag is about to enter a complex, automated system involving miles of conveyor belts, security scanners, sorting machines, and human handlers. And if everything goes right, it arrives at your destination. But sometimes things go wrong. Let me explain exactly what happens to your checked luggage from the moment you drop it off until it's loaded onto your aircraft. First, let's frame the problem. A major airport like Atlanta, Chicago O'Hare, or London Heathrow handles tens of thousands of checked bags per day. Each bag needs to be screened for security threats, sorted by destination, routed to the correct aircraft, and loaded in time for departure. All of this happens in a tight time window. If your flight departs in 2 hours, your bag has maybe 90 minutes to complete this entire journey. Miss any step, and your bag doesn't make the flight. The system is designed for speed, accuracy, and security, but it's not perfect. Now here's the scale. When you place your bag on the belt at check-in, it enters the baggage handling system, or BHS. This is a network of conveyors, scanners, diverters, and sorters, most of which is underground or hidden behind airport walls. At a large airport, the BHS can include over 10 to 20 miles of conveyor belts. Your bag travels through this system at speeds of around 15 to 20 mph. It's scanned multiple times. Barcodes on your baggage tag are read by optical scanners. The system tracks your bag's location in real time. Let's destroy the biggest misconception immediately. Your bag doesn't go directly from check-in to the plane. It goes through security screening first. Every checked bag in the United States, and in most countries, must be screened for explosives and prohibited items. This happens automatically as the bag moves through the system. The bag passes through an X-ray machine, similar to the ones used for carry-on screening, but larger and more powerful. These machines use computed tomography, or CT technology, creating 3D images of the bag's contents. Software analyzes the images, looking for shapes, densities, and materials consistent with explosives or weapons. If the automated system flags something suspicious, the bag is diverted to a secondary screening area. A human operator examines the X-ray image more closely. If they can't determine what the suspicious item is, they may physically open the bag and inspect it. This is why sometimes you find a notice in your luggage saying it was inspected by TSA or airport security. If prohibited items are found, they're confiscated. If the item is dangerous, law enforcement is notified. But most bags pass screening without issue and continue through the system. Now let's break down the mechanics. After security screening, your bag enters the sorting system. The barcode on your baggage tag contains information: your flight number, destination, and a unique bag identifier. Scanners read this barcode multiple times as the bag moves through the system. Based on that information, automated diverters route the bag toward the correct loading area. Think of it like a massive, high-speed sorting facility, similar to what Amazon or FedEx use for packages. The system knows which gate your flight is departing from. It knows which aircraft you're on. It routes your bag to a specific makeup area, a staging zone where bags for a particular flight are collected. At smaller airports, this might be a simple cart or container. At large airports, it's a dedicated area with dozens of bags waiting to be loaded. Here's the real-world application. At major hubs, the BHS is incredibly sophisticated. Denver International Airport, for example, has one of the most advanced baggage systems in the world. It's largely automated. Bags are tracked by RFID tags in addition to barcodes. The system can handle over 2,500 bags per minute. If a bag misses a connection, the system automatically reroutes it to the next available flight. All of this happens without human intervention for the vast majority of bags. But not all airports have such advanced systems. Smaller airports may rely more on manual sorting. Workers read bag tags and physically move bags to the correct loading carts. This is slower and more error-prone, but it works for lower volumes. Now let's go deeper into the loading process. Once your bag reaches the makeup area for your flight, ground crew take over. They load bags into containers or carts depending on the aircraft type. Wide-body jets like Boeing 777s or Airbus A330s use unit load devices or ULDs. These are metal containers that fit precisely into the aircraft's cargo hold. Bags are stacked inside the ULD, the door is closed, and the entire container is loaded into the plane using a cargo loader. This is faster and more efficient than loading individual bags. Narrow-body aircraft, like Boeing 737s or Airbus A320s, typically use bulk loading. Bags are loaded directly into the cargo hold by hand. Workers form a chain, passing bags from the cart into the hold, where another worker stacks them. It's physical labor. Heavy bags, odd-shaped items, everything is manually handled. This is why baggage handlers are required to lift bags weighing up to 50 to 70 pounds repeatedly. There's also weight imbalance. Aircraft must be loaded within specific weight limits, and the weight must be distributed properly for safe flight. Too much weight in the tail, and the aircraft won't rotate properly during takeoff. Too much in the nose, and it becomes difficult to control. Load planners calculate how many bags go in each cargo compartment based on the aircraft's weight and balance requirements. This is done using software that accounts for passenger distribution, cargo weight, and fuel load. Now, the edge case. What happens if your bag doesn't make it to the plane in time? This is called a mishandled bag. It could be delayed in security screening, routed to the wrong gate, or simply missed due to a tight connection. When this happens, the bag is placed on the next available flight to your destination. The airline tracks it using the barcode. You're usually notified via text or email that your bag will arrive on a later flight and will be delivered to your hotel or home. Most mishandled bags are reunited with their owners within 24 hours, but occasionally bags are lost for longer periods or permanently. Let me address another issue: lost luggage. Why does it happen? The most common cause is misrouted bags. A barcode scanner malfunctions or misreads the tag. The bag is sent to the wrong sorting area. By the time the error is caught, the bag is on the wrong flight. Another cause is torn or damaged bag tags. If the tag falls off or becomes unreadable, the system can't route the bag. It ends up in a holding area for unclaimed luggage. Airlines have procedures to match orphan bags with owners, but it takes time. There's also theft, though it's rare. Airport workers undergo background checks and security screening. Surveillance cameras monitor baggage handling areas. But occasional theft does occur. High-value items, electronics, jewelry should never be packed in checked luggage for this reason. Here's another detail. Different airlines have different standards for baggage handling. Some airlines invest heavily in modern BHS systems and train their staff thoroughly. Others use older equipment and have higher rates of mishandled bags. Industry data shows that mishandled bag rates vary significantly by airline and airport. On average, about 5 to 6 bags per 1,000 passengers are mishandled. That's roughly 0.5 to 0.6%. Most travelers never experience a lost bag, but for those who do, it's a major inconvenience. Now let's talk about international flights. If you're flying internationally, your bag goes through additional screening at customs. When you land, your bag is offloaded and placed in a customs inspection area. Some bags are randomly selected for inspection. Customs agents check for prohibited items, undeclared goods, or contraband. If nothing is found, the bag continues to the baggage claim area. If something suspicious is detected, the bag is held and the passenger is contacted. There's also the question of damage. Bags are handled roughly. They're thrown onto conveyors, stacked in cargo holds, and exposed to extreme temperatures. Wheels break, zippers tear, handles snap. This is why hard-shell suitcases are popular. They offer better protection. Airlines are liable for damage, but only up to certain limits. If you're carrying valuable or fragile items, consider purchasing additional insurance. So here's the conclusion. When you drop off your checked bag, it enters a massive, largely automated system. It's screened for security threats, sorted by destination, routed through miles of conveyor belts, and loaded onto your aircraft. The process is designed to be fast and efficient. Most bags arrive on time without issue. But the system is complex, and occasionally things go wrong. Bags are misrouted, delayed, or damaged. Understanding the process doesn't prevent problems, but it explains why they happen and why airlines ask you to arrive early and pack carefully. To me, that's the fascinating part. The baggage handling system is one of the largest, most complex logistics operations in the world, yet it's almost entirely invisible to passengers. You see your bag for a few seconds at check-in and again at baggage claim. Everything in between happens out of sight, managed by machines and workers you never meet. There's another layer worth exploring: the technology behind modern baggage systems. RFID, radio frequency identification, is increasingly used to track bags. Unlike barcodes, which require line-of-sight scanning, RFID tags can be read from a distance and through obstacles. This improves tracking accuracy. Delta Airlines, for example, implemented RFID tracking across its network and reduced mishandled bags significantly. Passengers can track their bags in real time using airline apps, seeing when the bag is loaded, when it's in transit, and when it arrives. There's also automation in loading. Some airports are testing robotic systems that load bags into ULDs automatically. Robots scan bag dimensions, calculate optimal placement, and stack bags efficiently. This reduces the physical strain on workers and increases loading speed. But full automation is still years away. Most loading is still done by human workers. Now let's consider peak travel periods. During holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, or summer vacation, bag volumes surge. Systems designed to handle 10,000 bags per day suddenly face 15,000 or 20,000. This stresses the system. Conveyor belts run at maximum capacity. Sorting areas fill up. Workers are stretched thin. Delays become more common. Airlines respond by adding extra staff and extending operating hours, but the infrastructure has physical limits. There's also weather impact. Severe weather can shut down airports, delaying flights and stranding thousands of bags. When flights resume, the backlog must be cleared. Bags pile up. Sorting systems become overwhelmed. It can take days to return to normal operations. This is why winter storms often lead to baggage delays even after flights resume. Let's also consider the environmental aspect. Baggage handling systems consume significant energy. Conveyor belts run continuously. Scanners, computers, and lighting operate 24/7. Some airports are investing in energy-efficient systems, using LED lighting, variable speed conveyors that slow down during low traffic periods, and solar power to offset energy consumption. These improvements reduce operating costs and environmental impact. There's also the human element. Baggage handlers work in challenging conditions. They're exposed to extreme temperatures, both hot and cold, depending on the season and location. They lift heavy bags repeatedly, risking back injuries and muscle strain. They work on tight schedules, rushing to load bags before flights depart. Turnover in the industry is high. It's physically demanding work with relatively low pay, yet these workers are essential. Without them, the entire air travel system would grind to a halt. Now, what about the future? Airlines and airports are exploring new technologies. Blockchain-based tracking systems promise even greater transparency and accuracy. AI-powered sorting algorithms could optimize bag routing in real time, reducing delays. Autonomous vehicles might transport bags between terminals without human drivers. These innovations are in development or early testing. Within a decade, baggage handling could be significantly more automated and efficient. Finally, consider what you can do as a passenger to reduce the risk of lost or delayed bags. First, use bright, distinctive luggage. Unique colors or patterns make your bag easier to spot and less likely to be mistaken for someone else's. Second, attach multiple identification tags, both outside and inside your bag. If the external tag is lost, the internal tag can still identify the bag. Third, photograph your bag before checking it. If it's lost, you can show airline staff exactly what it looks like. Fourth, avoid tight connections. If you have only 30 minutes between flights, your bag might not make it. Give yourself at least an hour, preferably more. Fifth, track your bag using the airline app. If you see it's not loaded, alert airline staff immediately. They may be able to locate it before your flight departs. So the next time you check a bag, you'll know exactly where it's going. It's descending into a hidden world of conveyor belts, scanners, and sorters. It's being screened, routed, and loaded by a combination of automated systems and human workers. And if everything works as designed, it will be waiting for you when you land. Now, if you've ever wondered why airlines charge so much for checked bags when the handling process is largely automated, I've covered the economics of baggage fees in another video.